everybody, it's Kenny K here again, and I found a doozy. Basically, a movie that I've never heard of, Massacre at High School. Now, you should think, oh, that's a 80s slasher movie's name, right? No, it's a movie from 1976, and it's not all a slasher movie. It's about a killer, yes. And I'm giving it a 6. It gets a 6.1 on IMDb. It gets a 6.5 from me. It's a really good story with a bittersweet ending. It's really good. It's really good. So you've got, so the story is about Hawkins, Hawkins High. And you've got these 4 bullies, one of which is Mark. Now, the actors, I'm looking here, the only actor that came to mind is a guy named Robert Caradine, maybe I know Caradine, the Caradines had a lot of brothers, and they're all into acting, and his name is Spoonie. He's a guy who's also being suppressed by these bullies. You've got Craig, Bruce, Rodney, and then of course Mark being the 4th bully. Then Mark's best friend, he was basically the bully in the previous school, who they kicked a lot of asses. He was really angry. He was really, a good fighter, named David. The actor's name, I wrote him down, but Daryl Morey, never heard of him, right? And Mark is Andrew Stevens. His girlfriend is a girl named Teresa. Now, she has 2 girlfriends, but they're terrified. They call the George, Bruce, Rodney. Bruce is somewhat the leader. Mark is somewhat the level-head guy. They call them the Gestapo 3. She, of course, doesn't count Mark with him. Mark, when David arrives, he looks like a guy who doesn't want to play around. He is introduced to the group of bullies, but he doesn't want anything to do with it. He runs a lot, like sprinting, because he's angry inside, so he runs. And there's this point where they basically are harassing. There's one guy putting paint on a locker, a swastika, and they ask, "Why the fuck are you doing this?" These bullies. I wanna suppress my. I wanna represent myself with a fucking swastika in your fucking locker. Get the fuck away. If this guy needs a good slapping, then yeah. So he has to take paint and paint it over and shit. Then, small things, but they do 2 things that are a little bit over the. So the typical bully thing is going to the librarian and just shoving all the books away and this and that. David comes in, wants to help him. Another guy in this old Pontiac, he gets sidetracked from the road by the van of bullies. The bullies have this van, and one has a cool sports car, Bruce, I think. And they go in the car, they test the car, so let's see what this car can do. So see what the brakes can do. They slam the car in barrels. Oh, the brakes are pretty fine. Let's see what it can do in back gear. Boom, against the wall. They drive into this little gorge, and they leave the guy behind. David arrives again. He says, "Listen, I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you rebuild this car. Every car can be rebuilt. I know cars. Okay, because he drives this like military jeep, old school jeep from time of North Korea when the Americans fought the North Koreans. You know, so an open jeep. Now, of course, Bruce, Rodney, and Craig are noticing this, and then you have so that's already a little bit going too far, and then they want to rape Teresa's two best friends. And Mark doesn't want to have anything to do with it. He said, Teresa is following me. What's happening? What's happening? Go above and see that your girlfriends better not be snobs again. She goes to the fucking room. She sees that he sees one tearing out her clothes. You see her titties. Because you see a lot of titties in this movie. A lot of fucking, a lot of titties. Because there's a censored version of this movie, and I watched the uncensored version. So, but instead of ripping the guys off her friends, she just comes in there, sits on a chair. What the fuck are you doing? Bruce said. I'm gonna enjoy the show. What? Can't get it up when I'm sitting here? And then Bruce, of course, pulls her off and throws her outside. This is what David says, and this is what David he's pulled over the limit. He kills the large guy with the blonde hair that's like this. He looks like fucking the Addams Family, the Frankenstein, but with the blonde hair like this. Gets knocked out in the face. Then he has a fight with Bruce. He gets a few punches in, but it's obvious David is better. He fucks him up. The two rapees are, almost raped girls are fighting with the other guy, putting chairs on him, and they basically got humiliated and they lose. Then they want to retaliate and want to talk with him, give him one last chance. Now the problem is Mark doesn't want anything to do with it, and then because he's a friend of him, so they go to the place where he's fixing the car of the guy who his Pontiac, who lost his Pontiac in a creek. He's asking Bruce, listen, join us, and we'll forget the whole thing, okay? He says, hell no. And then he's not big with words, but then he says, come out there, now. Hell no, I'm not one of your monkeys. And then he just pushes something from the car, I think, which holds the car stable, and he breaks one of his legs. Okay, so now he's in the hospital. He doesn't tell what happened. I mean, he doesn't tell who did it. He doesn't want to talk with anybody. He arrives back at school limping like paraplegic. Now they took sprinting away from him, so his anger is boiling up. Now the shit's gonna hit the fan. First of all, he kills the Bruce, Rodney, and Craig. And Mark, they like to go skydiving, but he sabotaged the flights, the wings of Bruce. The guy flies straight into a power line, gets basically a hamburger. We see his fucked up face. So that's what I mean with, because this movie is more of a drama thriller, but then when you see that happening, oh yeah, I know, we see the horror, okay, because there's a big amount of blood coming now. He kills 9 people, but listen up, then he kills, I think he kills Craig, because somebody had to fill the pool, He takes the note out of the from the board, and Craig is this known, diver, from a jumping board. He jumps from the board straight on the fucking pavement of the pool, and you see his fucking brains hanging out, blood all over the floor, and then we see a bunch of students looking at it. It looks like his head's gone. Even it's a fucked up kill, accidental kill, but a fucked up. Most kills are accidental, just a few. That's for later. Then he kills Rodney, basically the final one. That's the Frankenstein-looking dickhead. He snaps his brakes. He's in this van. He owns the van. He puts his water board, in the trunk, and then he pushes the car. Door slams. Everything is shut. The guy's going off cliff, and you see him bleeding because he's hitting his head all over the place. We see blood all over his face, his white shirt, and then he falls to his death, and the van explodes. And then Mark yells, "David!" And David's behind him. "Yes." "What are you doing? Why did you do this?" Because nobody at that school they're scared, and they made this out of me. I can't run anymore. And then it's okay, kill me and let's be done with it. I'm not a mercy killer. I'll kill you when I want to kill you, and you're gonna feel it. I want to see you struggling. He's basically being a maniac at this point. But then Teresa comes to talk with him, and he's still sort of in love. But there's this weird scene. So Mark finds them basically skinny diving. You see David Schlong. You see her tits, her 70s bush, and then there's a scene where she tells Mark, and Mark says, "I saw this." And she's saying, we had a good talk, we had fun, we skinny dipped, and I wanted to fuck him, but he didn't wanna because he said, Mark is my best friend." And the guy answers like, "Okay." If that would be your fucking girlfriend, wouldn't you say, "Get the fuck out of my car"? I mean, if she would do that with that guy, what would she do with the next Good Samaritan? Double fuck him? I mean, okay, that's unrealistic in my opinion. Okay, so Teresa comes to his house. He lives in like a shack. And he asks, "Don't kill me or Mark." And he says, "Listen, I'm not gonna kill you and Mark. Because things are happening now at school." So that's the cool thing about the school. So now all the humiliated students become these assholes. The guy Spoonie, which Robert Caradine, he becomes an asshole. He becomes one of the main assholes. They're all trying to fight for this. Who is the next king of the school? Now, apparently, David is seeing this, and he can't deal with it. He's like, "What the fuck?" Everybody, even the librarian, fucking pisshead, is being a bully. I mean, oh my god. And Mark, of course, being the last one, they're all teasing him now, of course, bullying him. Even the two rapey girls are fucking best friends of Teresa, are saying, "What's no? He's still with a concubine slut," and she slaps the bitch. she bitch slaps her in the face. Now what happens is, okay, 7 kills in one day. David basically had enough. He goes, okay, the librarian has this earpiece in with music. Now what happens is, Spoonie hits the little machine that stops the earpiece, or it pulls him out. I'm not sure what happens, but when he puts it back in, pushes the button, there's this zap coming out, and it basically fries his brain, and the blood's coming out of his ear, and falls to his death. Everybody's like, oh, 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 oh. Then you've got this, such a guy that you really want to see die. He's got this stupid hair like this. He's got more zits on his face like the craters of the moon. He's a fat pig. He's basically the guy that these bullies before, and that's horrible. They were teasing him when he was doing gymnastics, and he was getting up the rope, but they were holding a fucking knife under his ass, because if he falls, he gets fucking. Of course, they just take it away when he falls, but mentally, because Bruce says that because of us, he got 2 feet higher. Yeah, fuck you. But then everything in between, before all these assholes start to sort of fight for the title of the school, he's a good guy. He's doing okay. He's still falling ropes, but he's getting higher. But then he starts to walk into everybody. Oh, he sees somebody junk and boom. So a girl just slaps him in the face, and he goes boink, and he's the first guy who goes out of the library when they see the dead librarian, and he goes like, and he opens his locker, boom, you see his body full bloody on the floor. Then the other guy, who David worked on his car, where he basically lost his legs for, his car, he bought the car of Bruce's parents because they're still mourning them, and he wanted to get it out, so he bought it for a steal. Car starts, boom, explodes. Now, after that, Spoonie thinks, let's take the 2 almost raped girls and go to the ocean, but on these cliffs, he's fucking one girl in the tent, and then you see this completely nude, pasty ass girl. She's like white as cream. Better put some sunning tan on it all. Finds this box with these bricks to get fucking TNT. The guy comes and looks at it. It's nothing. Even a fucking layman would recognize fucking TNT, right? I mean, there's sticks binded together with fucking. Oh, Jesus. Okay, they go in the tent. Let's have some threesome. You see some pasty asses fucking each other, and then of course a bang, and the rocks fall over and flatten the tent. So now the question is, okay, I'll keep that for later. Now Mark goes to his house. He's saying, listen, and then he said, oh, you finally came. I waited for you. Mark has a gun. He says, stop this right now. Why? Because what's happening is madness. You know what? David says, when I first arrived at that school, everybody were scooped their mice. They were afraid of your buddies. So I deal with your buddies. They gave me this. I never can run again. But why kill 9 people? Because I'm a madman, he he's joking, takes the gun away from him, points it at him. Teresa comes in. Listen, I don't want you to. You stay here. I got some work to do. The problem is, in between this take and just before this one of the bitches, one of these asshole bitches, found his little shack, and he's the guy who's even being bullied by all the separate pockets of bullies that we had before he basically made a grand attack on the school. And he says, listen, listen, kill Mark, and you get Teresa, and I'll be king of the school. And he's like, he had a drill in his head. I thought he was gonna put that in his face, but he doesn't like to kill just in front of. He likes to kill sneaky kills, but kills that can be an accident. But listen, that's something for the end. So that's a discussion for the end. So everybody's going to prom. He's there watching all these old people, all faculty members and shit. He's seeing the bitchy rat-faced motherfucker. He sees Mark and Teresa, and they got out of his shack. They see them. He goes to them. Go away, go away. You've got 3 minutes. Go away. No, we'll stay. Okay, I'm going away. You know we have 3 minutes. And then he goes, and then he's going like, and then he's running away, and then eventually he's taking the fucking bombs. He's limping himself. I mean, he was pretty fucked up. His leg was pretty fucked up. He's falling multiple times. He takes the bombs, and he goes outside. He had two choices. One, throw the bombs as far as you can into boom, or two, kill himself, or just wait that the bombs explode, and that's what happens. He kills himself. Now, did he do that because of, first of all, did he do that because it's sad. It's sort of sad. And the thing, it's actually a great movie, because you see, so you've got yin yang, you've got good, evil, and you have good, but you need evil to stabilize things. You need yin, but you also need yang to keep it all together, right? When some of these two parts get annihilated, everything gets disorientated, and you get pandemonium. And that's basically what happened at this school. Nobody appreciated that they were gone. Just be cozy living without bullies, scared. They were really scared. Now they were like, oh, and then bullying each other's different pockets. And he seen that was his doing, so he needed to kill them. But I think then at the end, I think he wanted to destroy the school with him in it, killing himself and everybody in it, because he felt the school was done for. The school was unsavable in his mind. But when he sees Mark, his best friend, and Teresa, he can't let them die, so he goes out of the school. But then you can argue for the fact that he could just throw the bombs away, but I don't think he wanted to be in a jail cell, because so it's a bittersweet ending in a way. I don't condone the violence, but these assholes are being pricks and almost sociopaths. They became sociopaths. The ones that got bullied became even worse than the bullies. I mean, okay, not worse because they wanted to rape, but these guys wanted to rape too. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. What a fucking school. And David felt he wasn't made for society. It's, in any case, not for that school. And he came from another school that was fucked up, where he was the bully with Mark. But he didn't want to be that way anymore, and he wanted to start a second life, but that got fucked up because of these new bullies, that new fucking ass, and they all wanted David in their group because he was the brawn, and they were the brains. But then he just walked away and he fucked them all over. But then so the movie's great. I like the fact that they did this. Good, evil falls away, good remains, but good can't remain without evil. So evil starts to replace itself, and it gets more disjointed, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good storytelling. The story is pretty good told. My favorite kill is the guy who he jumps from the diving board. You can see his fucking brains hanging out. I believe you see brain matter just around his head. So that was my favorite kill. But what I didn't understand was, okay, you've got a school where somebody gets killed with an earpiece, which is weird kill. You've got an explosion in a locker, which does that happen? Because most of the kills that he did before were accidental kills. That can be accidents, but a bomb in a locker and then a bomb underneath a car, that's something for the police to handle, right? I mean, come on. Those were like terrorist attacks. But apparently, they just thought, oh, those were accidents. The car can maybe explode by himself because it had a problem. Let's just put it that way. But then the locker room, that's putting dynamite in a locker. Come on. I'm glad the guy died. So that's the only negative I have, is the fact that these bombs explode, the cops don't come, and that would be more believable that he wants to blow himself up, even when he goes with the bombs outside, because he doesn't want to go to jail. He had a chance, he blew it. He had a chance again, he blew it again. He doesn't get a third chance, and it's a good movie. I recommend this movie. It's on YouTube, but you have to see the uncensored version if you want to see all the gore. I mean, the blood, and maybe brain matter, like I said, and the tits, the tits and asses, and a few dicks here and there. But no, it's definitely a 6.5 for me. That's a definitely watch. Definitely, and it starts off as a drama and almost a little bit of crime in there, maybe thriller. But then it starts off when he gets to killing the bullies. It starts off as a horror movie, in my opinion. Yeah, because then the blood starts to flow, especially when they take out his legs. So, subscribe for the next doozy that I have for you guys, and let's make our horror community bigger and more fun. See you next time. Yo.